This is Dr. D. Govardhan, Professor and Head, Department of Aeronautical Engineering, Institute of Aeronautical Engineering, Hyderabad. Today the topic is the resultant of coplanar concurrent to force system. When a number of forces are acting simultaneously on a rigid body, they will having some effect on it. But if all the forces are replaced by a single force, which will having the same effect on the body, that single force is called resultant of all the forces. Composition of forces. The composition means it is the process of finding resultant of several forces which are acting on a body. It is called composition of forces. Generally, it is also called compounding of forces. Method of the resultant force. There are two methods are important to determine the resultant of several forces which are acting on the body. They are graphical method and second one is analytical method. This analytical also called here method of resolution. Graphical method. The graphical method is one of the method. Generally, it is used to determine the resultant of two force system, three force system, as well as the several forces which are acting on a body. They are parallelogram law of forces, triangle law of forces, and law of polygon of forces. Parallelogram of forces. This method is used for determining the resultant of two forces acting on a body and they are concurrent. It states that if the two forces are acting simultaneously on a particle, be represented both in magnitude and direction by the two adjacent sides of a parallelogram, then the closing side of the diagonal which is passing through the point of intersection of the parallelogram is representing the resultant of these two forces both in magnitude and directions. Let P and Q are the forces acting on a body at a point O. The included angle between them is theta. Let alpha be the angle with which the resultant force makes with the direction of force P or be the resultant of P and Q now. So according to the parallelogram of forces, these two forces can be represented as both in magnitude and direction of two adjacent sides of a parallelogram now. So here OP is representing one force now. According to the suitable scale, represent OP both in magnitude and direction by the adjacent on the side of a parallelogram. Here represented here it is O here now. Similarly, here the OQ force is represented here now. Side of a parallelogram both in magnitude and directions it is represented as OB now. These two are known as here adjacent sides of a parallelogram now. So parallelogram means nothing but opposite sides are having equal in length now and parallel to each other. Hence complete the parallelogram which is represented here now OACB now. Okay, according to this law, the resultant of these two forces is represented by the diagonal OC which is passing through the same point of intersection. Here it is represented as R now. So when we extended that OA up to D now, by using a trigonometric relations, we found that the magnitude of resultant force of P and Q is given by under root of P square plus Q square plus 2PQ cos theta now. Similarly, the direction is represented as now tan alpha. It is equal to Q sin theta divided by P plus Q cos theta now. Here the proof is now, when we are taking the triangle once again now, okay, in this case, the force OA is which is representing the magnitude of P now, it is extended up to AD and complete the right angle triangle ODC now. So in this case, the AD is representing, this AD is representing P Q cos theta and CD is representing Q sin theta. Now, according to the trigonometric relations, since it is the right angle triangle, OC square is equal to OD square plus CD square now. So it is represented as now here in a triangle ODC, OC square is equal to OD square plus CD square. Since OD is equal to OA plus AD square plus CD square, now which is equal to OA is equal to P, AD is equal to Q cos theta whole square plus Q sin theta whole square. And expansion we got P square plus Q square cos square theta plus 2PQ cos theta plus Q square sin square theta. So according to the relations now, P square plus Q square is a common word now. So cos square theta plus sin square theta, which is now becomes 1 now, plus 2PQ cos theta now. So the final conclusion is R square is equal to P square plus Q square plus 2PQ cos theta, or R is equal to under root of P square plus Q square plus 2PQ cos theta now. If the angle alpha, which is the resultant force that making with the direction of one of the forces P, then according to the trigonometric relations now, we got tan alpha is equal to Q sin theta divided by P plus Q cos theta now. So in this case, if theta is equal to 0, then these two forces are treated as the collinear forces. Then the resultant of collinear forces is equal to algebraic sum of the two forces, and it lies if they are like forces in the same directions. If they are unlike forces, the direction is acting, the resultant is acting in the direction of in which the magnitude of force is more now. Here we are considering these two forces are in the same directions, since theta is equal to 0, and so R is equal to P plus Q. Here it is represented now. Now tan alpha is equal to Q by P, which is equal to 0, because tan 0 is equal to 0, or alpha is equal to 0. That means the direction of the resultant force, when they are collinear, it lies in the same direction of forces which are acting now. If theta is equal to 90 degrees, then the forces which are at right angles to each other now, then cos 90 is equal to 0, or in other words, R is equal to becomes under root of P square plus Q square, since cos 90 is equal to 0, and tan alpha is equal to Q by P now. If theta is equal to 180 degrees, then these forces are called collinear forces, because the line of action of the forces are lies in the same line but acting in the opposite directions, and the resultant force of these two forces is given by the difference of two forces of their magnitude, but it is always acting in the directions in which it is having more in magnitude. Now, the second one is the triangle of forces. This is also one of the methods generally used for determining the resultant of two forces which are acting at a point. These two forces are concurrent. That means they will intersect at one point. According to the law, it says that the two forces are acting simultaneously at a point, be represented in magnitude and direction by the two adjacent sides of a triangle taken in order. Then the closing side is representing resultant of these two forces but acting in opposite directions. Here in this figure, P and Q are the forces which are represented both in magnitude and directions intersecting at a point O. Let theta be the representing include angle between P and Q, which is represented in figure number 1. According to the triangle of forces, these forces can be represented as two adjacent sides of a triangle taken in order, both in magnitude and direction. That means here, as in just OA is representing force. P now. It is represented both in magnitude and directions as OA in the figure now. Then now, OB is representing the force Q now. Now it is represented as the adjacent sides of a triangle taken in order. That means order means here this Y represents the tail, A is representing head. Similarly, for the second figure, that B is representing head, hence it is represented as A and B is representing the force of Q now. That means these two forces are represented as two adjacent sides of a triangle taken in order. That is tail, head, and tail and head. The closing side of these two forces, that is treated as here OB, is representing resultant of these two forces, but in opposite order. That means here it is the closing side. The opposite order means here OA, AB, and BO is a triangle now, but in opposite direction means the forces are acting toward the point B now. Now the magnitude of resultant of these two forces, by using trigonometric relations, we got R is equal to under root of P square plus Q square plus 2PQ cos theta, and the direction is represented as tan alpha is equal to Q sin theta divided by P plus cos theta. Polygon law of forces. It is a modification of triangular forces, but the triangular forces is generally applicable for only two forces acting at a body. But when the several forces are acting on it, the resultant of all the forces can be determined by using polygon law of forces graphically. It states that if a number of forces are acting simultaneously on a particle, be represented in magnitude and direction by the sides of a polygon taken in order, then the resultant of all these forces may be represented in magnitude and direction by the closing side of the polygon taken in opposite order. Now, let here Y is representing the intersection of all the forces A, B, C, D, and E now. This is called a point of intersection now. Now these forces are represented as sides of a polygon taken in order. Here Y is representing that starting point, and OA is representing the force A, is represented now. Similarly, the second force OB is there now. It is represented just what is the direction is there, same directions according to the suitable scale. This represents this AB as the force B now. Similarly, B and C is representing the force C now, and CD is representing force D. D is representing force E. All are representing in the same order, that is nothing but here the direction is represented like this, the directions, but all are acting in the same directions. Then the closing side EY is representing the resultant of these five forces, but in opposite order. That means EY is there, opposite means it is represented as like this now. Okay, this is the method of determining when several forces are acting on your body. By using law of polygon of forces, we can determine the resultant of all these forces both in magnitude and directions. Here I am taking one problem now. A particle is acted upon by the three forces equal to 50 newtons, 100 newtons and 130 newtons along three sides of an equilateral triangle taken in order. Find graphically the magnitude and direction of the resultant force now. Okay, these are the forces that they are given now. 50 newtons, 100 newtons and 130 newtons now. Now these forces, they are represented here now. AB is representing both in magnitude and direction of 50. Similarly, The BC is representing the 100 newtons both in magnitude direction, and CD is representing now, it is representing 130 newtons, and the closing side DA, that is representing the resultant of all the forces, but in opposite order. Here, while drawing vector diagram, better to represent the space diagram according to the suitable scale that most comfortable. So 50 newtons is nothing but better to represent according to suitable scales. It may be just 1:1 now. That is 1 mm length of the drawing is representing 50 newtons. So similarly 100 newtons and 130 newtons are there now. So first take AB is equal to 50 newtons, that is 50 mm, which is representing both in magnitude and direction of the force which is acting on the base A. From B, again represent 100 mm, which is representing again 60 degrees according to the triangle now, both in magnitude directions. And let BC is representing the magnitude and direction of the B force now. And C force is having 130 newtons. So 130 mm is required from C, and D, which is also representing an angle of 60 degrees with the base now, or take include angle is equal to 60 degrees, and the closing side DA is representing the resultant of these three forces, but it acting in opposite direction. That means AB, BC, CD, and DA is required, but acting in opposite directions. This diagram is called here vector diagram, and the diagram which is showing the various forces acting on the body is called space diagram. By using this diagram graphically, we can determine the resultant of three forces which are acting on the sides of a triangle. Resolution of a force. It comes under analytical method now. Generally, it is used to determine the resultant of two forces or several forces which are interacting at a given point on a body. The principle of resolution is the force is resolved into two rectangular components, generally in horizontal and vertical directions. These are called component of the forces now. And the resolution of force is generally it is treated as a reverse of addition of the component of forces. That is, the force is divided into two rectangular components. Preferably, both should be mutually perpendicular to each other, and one is along the x direction, one more is along the y directions. According to the principle of resolutions, it is used for determining the resultant of several forces acting on a body. It states that the algebraic sum of the resolved parts of number of forces in a given direction is equal to the result part of their resultant in the same directions. Here, F1, F2, F3, and F4 four forces are acting at a point O on a body. According to the principle of resolutions, these forces F1, F2, F3, and F4 are resolved into two rectangular components, preferably in x direction or y directions. And for algebraic sum, generally we are considering the forces which are acting along the x directions toward the right side are treated as a positive, that is a positive x directions, and a negative x axis, that is treated as a negative value. The algebraic sum means we have to take the algebraic sum of the forces which are acting along the x direction. This sum is treated as the horizontal component of the resultant force. Similarly, resolve the forces along the y directions, and for algebraic sum means the forces which are acting toward the positive y axis are treated as positive, and in downward directions, that is the negative y axis are treated as negative. And take algebraic sum. The algebraic sum of all these vertical forces is equal to the vertical component of the resultant force of all the forces. Here, I am taking resolve all the forces horizontally and find the algebraic sum of all the forces of components. Generally, it is represented as sigma h now. Similarly, resolve all the forces vertically and take algebraic sum of all the vertical components, and generally it is represented as sigma b now. Now, according to the trigonometric relations, now the resultant of the system of forces is equal to r square is equal to sigma of h square plus sigma v whole square, or r is equal to under root of sigma h square plus sigma v square. The resultant force will be inclined at an angle of theta with the horizontal, and it is given by tan theta is equal to sigma v divided by sigma h now. Now I am taking this problem as an example now. Okay, in this case, figure 1 is representing space diagram in which four forces are acting at a point O now. These forces are resolved into two rectangular components along the x direction and y direction, which is shown in figure now. The force F1 is resolved now. Now, theta 1 will be the inclination of the force F1 with the horizontal, that is the x-axis now. The horizontal component is represented as F1 cos theta 1 now, and vertical component is F1 sin theta 1 now, which is shown in figure 1 here. Similarly, the force F2, when it is resolved into two components along the x direction and y direction, the F2 cos 2 theta is represented as x component, but it is acting toward the left side, hence it is treated as a negative force now. Similarly, the vertical component is given by F2 sin theta 2. It is acting in opposite directions, hence it is treated as positive now. The third force F3, it is according to the planes now. It belongs to third quadrant now. Now it is acting in downward directions. When it is resolved in two components, that F2 cos 2 theta 3 is acting toward the left side, and F3 sin theta 3 is acting downward direction, so that is also treated as a negative now. The F4, when this force is result into two rectangular components, theta 4 will be the inclination of that force with the horizontal now. F4 cos theta 4 is representing horizontal component, and F4 sin theta 4 is representing vertical component. This horizontal component is acting toward the right side, hence it is treated as positive, and vertical component is in downward direction, so treated as negative now. So, the sum of all the forces now is given by F1 cos theta minus half F2 cos theta minus half F3 cos theta plus F4 cos theta 4. Generally, it is equal to sigma h now. That is the sum of the horizontal component of system of forces which are acting on a body. Similarly, the sum of the vertical forces is given by F1 sin theta positive plus F2 sin theta 2 minus of F3 sin theta 3 and minus of F4 sin theta 4. This sum is representing the vertical component of the resultant 4. Generally, it is represented as sigma b now. Now, r square is equal to the resultant of all the forces given by r square is equal to sigma h whole square plus sigma v whole square. R is equal to under root of sigma h square plus sigma v square, which is represented this here in the equation now. Theta is equal to tan inverse of sigma v divided by sigma h now. Note, if the values of angle of theta will vary depending upon the values of sigma v and sigma h. When sigma v is a positive, the resultant makes an angle of between 0 and 180 degrees because the y coordinate is positive both in first quadrant and second quadrant. When sigma v is negative, that means the resultant makes an angle of 180 and 360 degrees now. When sigma h is a positive, that means the resultant makes an angle of 0 to 90 degrees. Or in other words, when sigma h positive, sigma v is a positive, That means the resultant is always makes an angle which lies between 0 to 90 degrees. Similarly, when sigma V sigma h is negative, sigma is a positive 90 to 180, and sigma h negative, sigma V negative, then it belongs to third quadrant, that means 180 to 70, and sigma h positive, sigma V is negative, it belongs to fourth quadrant, that means 270 to 360 degrees also.
Like, share and subscribe. Hit the bell icon for more updates.